What's up everyone? Welcome back to another 2GR MR2 progress video. In the last video, I showed off this 2006 Avalon that I bought for its 2GR. It's pretty clean-ish, other than that large rear end damage. The interior is also not in the best of shape, but I'm not too worried about that. There's also a bullet hole in the windshield. It seems to have gone through the windshield and then into the back headrest. As far as I can tell, the car was parked when it was hit with the bullet in the rear end.
Yeah.
Other than that, the 2GR ran great. No engine codes, all passing monitors. And before pulling it, I obviously had to test all the quirks and features of the car. But now, the 2GR has been pulled, so I'll show what that process was like. I decided to pull the 2GR out through the front of the car, so with that in mind, I started taking all the front end bits off. To kick things off, I found this CSF radiator cap, so that was pretty cool. I started with the front bumper, and then I worked my way through the front of the car. This was the first modern car I really got to work on, and it was pretty interesting seeing how little structure there is up front in order for the vehicle to crumple during an accident. With some of the front bits off, it was now time to get to the engine stuff, which means I needed to back the car up before I spilled coolant or oil on our grass. While the coolant drained, I worked on getting some other accessories off, mainly the airbox. Got the top half of the airbox off, then the bottom. Underneath all that airbox stuff was a little present. It's a Helmholtz resonator. I'll have to go back and find out what frequency this likes to cancel. When you're taking a plastic radiator out, make sure you snap the neck off so you can't resell it later. This is around the part where my phone overheated and my video stopped recording. Onto electrical. On these early 2000s Toyotas, the ECUs are placed in the interior of the vehicle as opposed to inside the engine bay on the newer vehicles. On this Avalon, the ECU is located behind the glove box, so I just had to go back there and unplug it. Next was the axles. First I put the car up on stands. And then I made sure it was all stable. I usually just shake the car or something. I recently got this impact wrench. As you can see, I can work much faster now. This whole process of pulling the axles went way smoother than I thought it would. Nothing was really too stuck or in awkward spots or anything like that. After the axles were pulled out, I put the knuckles back on so I could still roll the car around after all this. It took quite a bit of wrestling. Okay, on to actually pulling the 2GR. I mentioned previously that I wanted to pull the 2GR out through the front of the vehicle. Well, there was an issue with that. Here's me realizing that I have that issue. And this is the moment where I solve that issue. This is by far the craziest thing I've done to a car, but it was pretty fun, so it's all good. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Okay, back to pulling the 2GR. Turns out I didn't fully solve that issue, so I had to solve it some more. And it was on to the next issue. Toyota decided to put this power steering hose back here, like mounted to the engine. A quick Sawzall session solved it, so it wasn't too big of a deal. And just like that, 2GR was out. I rolled it down my driveway towards the garage, and I made sure to get the hoist stuck in a little ditch. And there it is, the 2GR. It feels good to have one again. Hopefully in the next episode I'll be putting it in the car. But I have a big mess to go clean up, so I'm going to go do that first.